Hey there, folks. Quentin here, Mask Ramen on the internet. Happy Saturday. And today I want to talk about Deadpool Batman. And this is the sort of Marvel edition of this. This is the third printing. I sort of knew that from prior talk to this actually coming out, they were saying that this is kind of like a nothing book. It was sort of not really planned. It was sort of like a rushed kind of deal. And it totally feels rushed. I did read this. I gave it a 5 out of 10. This is the Adam Kubert cover here. Surprisingly good artwork from Adam Kubert. He actually does interior as well in this book. But the main sort of Deadpool Batman story of this is done by Greg Capullo, who did the Spawn Batman crossover, which was really great, which really gave me hope for this book. And this is written by Zeb Wells, who sort of was writing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, when I sort of dropped off because I didn't really like the direction it was going. But great artwork from Greg Capullo. Just as you would expect, really great stuff. But the story-wise, it's very lacking, man. And while I was reading this, I don't really like Deadpool as a character. That's one of the reasons why I get the third printing, not the first printing. Deadpool is a really good character in the 90s. I always felt like when Rob Liefeld did Deadpool, it was good. When Joe Kelly did Deadpool, it was good. But after that, not so much. I didn't really like him that much anymore after sort of like... that's not necessarily true, because when Ed McGuinness came on and he was doing some Deadpool stuff, I thought that was cool. And I really liked his artwork too. But the gist of this book is Deadpool is hired by the Joker. He tries to play it off like he's hired by the Joker to capture Batman. But prior to his mission, he goes to see Bruce Wayne as a billionaire and asks him if he wants to have his services, that he's available for services that he could provide. Like Bruce Wayne wants to kidnap anyone or kill anyone of his enemies, he could do so. But then, Deadpool's like, yeah, I'm just really here to kill Batman, but I just thought I'd ask you if you wanted someone killed. And then he sees the bat signal, he rushes over, and Batman's already sort of formulated a plan in his head to use Deadpool. And it's like the first couple of pages when I was reading Deadpool, all I could hear was Ryan Reynolds. But after sort of like this really big blurb, let's see if I can sort of pinpoint this blurb here, that it no longer sort of, when he started talking a lot and not little quips, it changed. The voice in my mind when I was reading it changed, which was a good thing. And I just didn't like the jokes in this book. One of the main jokes in this book is that the Batmobile that Bruce Wayne uses doesn't have a second seat, and the fact that he needs to sit within the same sort of seat as Batman. Like, Batman knew he was going to sort of get or use Deadpool. Why not get a two-seater? It was because the writer needed to have this sort of close quarters here to sort of trap Batman, where Deadpool uses this sort of the gas that knocks him out and actually captures him. It could have been written a different way. a more clever way where Batman, it's like obviously Batman is not a dummy, so you as a reader think to yourself, well, this is stupid. He's playing Deadpool, which he does the entire time. And then the Joker that they use is sort of this Joker. This isn't the Joker from the Spawn Batman Joker with the sort of face hanging off, like the scarred face. And then for some reason, like his lip is sort of red lips go away when his mouth is pursed. Where he's like a little bit pissed off and annoyed at Deadpool because Deadpool is sort of making, where Batman sort of makes it out where like, oh, well, he's funnier than you, he makes me laugh, which is sort of what they did, like Terry McGinnis. That's sort of how he defeated Joker in Batman Beyond, the movie of the Joker's Return. But, and then the Joker infects Wade with the Joker Venom, but the Joker Venom doesn't work because, of Deadpool's healing factor. And then they sort of get rid of whatever plan that the Joker was. He was trying to release all this venom out in the Gotham, and then Wade sort of double crosses him and blows up all the chemicals that he was trying to use on Gotham City. And then Batman's like, well, you helped me out because I used you. I'm just going to leave you. And it was sort of written here like Deadpool is not from that world. And Batman doesn't bat an eye. He just leaves him in his world to find his way back home. Because Joker says he used the Reverse Flash to sort of travel through dimensions to pick him out of the Marvel Universe. And Batman just lets him go because he helped to find his own way. And it's a short comic book. Well, it's not short in relative terms of like, it's like a regular, like a 24-page kind of deal. But this is a really big book, and it just has like a bunch of backup stories that don't matter. And great artwork from some of them. But some of them are like 2 pages or whatever, and it's like, what the hell is this? Where the first one is Captain America and Wonder Woman, written by Chip Zdarsky and penciled by Terry Dodson. Terry Dodson sort of changed his artwork a lot and almost looks like, well, it's different from the Terry Dodson that I remember. And it's almost looking a little bit like Carl Kerschel in a way. But this story sort of puts the Marvel and DC universe together, where Captain America and Wonder Woman have known each other since World War II, and not just World War II, but throughout like the different universes of the Marvel/DC universe, and it shows them going through a bunch of different, Marvel/DC events throughout the ages, throughout time here, throughout the decades, and it makes zero sense whatsoever. And as a reader, you kind of just think to yourself, like Captain America's trying to kill Hitler, and Wonder Woman's the one who sort of talks him out of it, which is a weird sort of character that Captain America would be. Like, that doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't make any sense. And like, they're like homies and best buddies or whatever. And then the second story has Crypto and Jeff, where they're playing volleyball out in the Arctic or whatever. Like, it looks, I like the way it looks. It looks very kid friendly. But you're gonna put this kid friendly story in a Deadpool Batman crossover where Deadpool is not, it's not for kids, and this is rated teen plus. Like, have this story somewhere else. It makes zero sense. That would be. And then Kevin Smith and Adam Kubert kind of come in, Green Arrow, Daredevil kind of come together, which is kind of cool. The artwork is really great. They sort of come together, but they're not like crossing universe. This is a really good page, and it's actually supposed to be read this way. Really super dope. And it's funny because Daredevil obviously is blind. He thinks that the Green Arrow is Hawkeye because he goes, Hawkeye? Like, what the heck? I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, it's okay. It was okay. It was they're against the hand. Like I said, the artwork from Adam Kubert is really great. He almost I thought for a second like, oh, he's getting better than his brother, because Andy Kubert is the Kubert that I sort of gravitate towards art wise, and then they go against Vertigo and they knock him out with the Kevin Smith bringing back the punching glove arrow. That was a couple of pages. That was pretty cool. And then this really 2 pages of Rocket Raccoon Guardians of the Galaxy meets the Green Lantern, where he becomes a Green Lantern. Super short story where like Rocket Raccoon sort of becomes more annoying than Guy Gardner in these 2 pages, and then somehow Hal Jordan goes to the Marvel Universe and becomes Parallax again through the use of the Infinity Gauntlet. This one was kind of not really cool, but at the same time, like, dude, you had the opportunity to have the Nova Corps and the Green Lantern Corps come together. That should have been obviously a book all its own, but not have to do with like Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever. I don't know. It was just not. It was weird, the 2 pages, that they did this story, and it meant nothing. And then this Batman from Frank Miller, he got about 3 pages of Batman versus Wolverine. And it's really just 9 panels that they fight, and a lot of the panels are very much the same. like this is the same as this. And in the end, Batman threw these bombs around Wolverine's waist and blew him up, but he didn't really blow him up, and that was it. Another throwaway story. This is more like feels more like one of those Christmas specials. And then they have this logo, this sort of amalgamation of Logan and Lobo, where he basically just blows up, or like he kills this sort of Iron Man looking armor. He's a bounty hunter, and the thing about these Iron Man armor type guys, that they always come back to life and wreak havoc, and he's like, well, I'm glad that they come back, because then I could just kill them again and earn more money. And then Thanos and Darkseid together. Thanos, what do they call him? They call him Thanoside. Okay, whatever. And then sort of like, have this cool, pretty artwork of a character that doesn't matter. And that's why, like 5 out of 10, man, like for crying out loud, you had the opportunity to really do something cool with Batman and Deadpool. Have like a League of Shadows kind of deal, or just something bigger and more smarter instead of dumb, where like Deadpool joins the hand. Why not? He's already wearing a red. That kind of thing. Or even more expanded on the Daredevil Green Arrow. So I guess maybe these are tryouts for other crossovers, which I would like to see a Kevin Smith Daredevil Green Arrow versus the Hand slash I don't know, just that would be cool. Drawn by Adam Kubert. Adam Kubert, talk about leveling up, man. I didn't like his run on the Uncanny X-Men, but this is great, man. This is great. I love it. And this the Jeff Crypto was pretty cool artwork in a more anime manga type deal. But this is something I would totally give to a kid to read, because it's fun. Not a whole lot of wording, because they're just animals. It's fun. Why not give that to a kid? But in a Teen Plus, where Merc with a Mouth, utter ridiculousness. Which goes to show the poor thinking that went into creating this event, creating this comic. 5 out of 10, just because the artwork of Greg Capullo and Adam Kubert and this, who does this? I mean, even Terry Dodson. I like how Terry Dodson's sort of coming into less sort of beefcake type stuff, or cheesecake, I should say, and then a little bit more of an animated type look. And Ryan Stegman's logo was cool, and then this sort of the Jeff and Crypto is Girihiru. Yeah, like I have like a DC manga division. Like Jim Lee needs to do something with that to invite newer readers to DC. Have like manga-esque stories where it's not stuff blowing up, event stuff, like everyday type stuff. Why not have like a Crypto comic book where he just sits around the house waiting for Superman to come home and show that, and then show what he sort of does on a daily basis, or whoever watches, like you have like the Teen Titans dog watch. Like, it's not that hard, because they call those a slice of life. Those are really popular manga books. Have slice of life type comic books, but the slice of life through like a hero, or like Aunt May. Like have an Aunt May manga where she's running the soup kitchen and just interacting with people. Like, I don't feel like it's that hard. Like, I feel like there's people out there who would read that manga slice of life stuff with like the surrounding superhero characters kind of deal. That's what I feel, because it works for anime, those types of stories. Not everything has to have a villain, a bad guy, a superhero. It could just be people in the DC / Marvel universe playing basketball, and that's the thing. Like, you know, playing basketball, and then all of a sudden, it's just everyday stuff. Just create characters like that. I don't know. And I feel like you just gotta watch anime, read manga to sort of copy that, mimic it, and give it American. Well, it's not even an American taste, because the Americans obviously like Japanese stuff, and I feel like it shouldn't be that hard to recreate those types of stories for American readers. Just go the way of the manga, but it's like the writers, they're the wrong writers, because I feel like they just trying to be like, well, I could make anime, I could make the manga better. But the thing about anime and manga is that they don't give you what the reader wants. They give what, they just give it how it is. You know, they're not trying to please anyone. They're not trying to be like, this is this is that, you know, mix and match. They have a story to tell that story in a great, meaningful way with great artwork, but they have like this Americanized version of anime where it looks a little bit more like a Scott Pilgrim type artwork, or like just have it look cool. Speed lines, action, even though they're not action, they're like slice of life, but they still have like aesthetics of like a crazy looking anime or manga. But that's my review of this trash, really. If it wasn't for the artists bringing their A game on this, I would really give it a lower score. But I don't know what Marvel's doing, like the Ultimate stuff. Like this really feels, and I don't really get too many new books, but this is like on everyone's sort of like, everyone was getting this book because it's like, oh, Deadpool, Batman. But I feel like the pairing of these two are sort of mixed matched. Like I don't think Batman would ever tolerate anything that this fool would say, so that's one of the reasons why it's a poor matchup. I feel like Deadpool Superman would have been a lot better because Superman gives grace to the people around him. He's more tolerant of people's personalities where Batman isn't, and it would have made a little bit more sense, but maybe even make more sense of like Deadpool with more like a Deathstroke or something like that, or like Deadpool and the Teen Titans, because the Teen Titans would see this adult guy trying to be like a younger guy or whatever. Like you could have just done something cooler than, oh, I'm fooling you. Who fooled me? You fooled me. I fooled you. Double cross, triple cross. Just not cool. I do want to get the sort of, I really want to get the Dan Mora one, which has escaped me. I really like Dan Mora's artwork, and Grant Morrison writes that one. That might be a better deal. But I always said Marvel had the artists, DC had the writers. I don't know what that looks like nowadays. I did read Ultimate Spider-Man, which wasn't cool in my eyes. I feel like this whole storyline is not going so well, but who am I to judge? I'm just reading. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not anybody special. But yeah, that's my video. Happy Saturday. If you made it this far, dang, thank you very much. Thank you for coming out to 20-minute plus rant of the current state of comic books. That's sort of like my review. Happy Saturday, everyone. For more, like, subscribe, comment below. I'm also making my own comic book, which is coming along pretty good. I got like around 3 more pages to ink on that, and it'll be ready for color. Until next time, God bless.